The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
So I'm going to leave you with one story with my friend Chaim Rosenfeld just told me 2 days ago, and this will give you the emunah to keep Shabbos and not worry about how much money you're going to make. He came over to me after shul on Sunday night. It was Sunday night, I think it was. He says, "Rabbi, I got to tell you a story. You can tell this to your class." I said, "No problem." He said, he works for this very charitable organization in Chicago. They do amazing work. And one of his friends, his name was Harry, we'll call him Harry Berkowitz, came over to him and says, "Do me a favor. Harry, I need a favor from you. I have a brother-in-law that's a big rabbi, has a lot of kids, works very hard. I know he's not making it. I know it. And Pesach is a very expensive holiday. I want to give him money, but he'll be embarrassed. Let me give the money to the organization, and you send him the check, and you'll tell him the organization it came as a gift from his shul because they respect him as a rabbi, and no one will know." He said, "Okay." Gave us $3,600, and we sent it to his brother-in-law, and this went on for a few years. A year ago, all of a sudden, Harry died. Passed away. All of a sudden. It was devastating. Young wife, young kids. It was devastating. And my friend Ari went to the funeral. And after the funeral, he went to the airport, where the deceased was being flown to Israel to be buried. And he was standing right next to the brother-in-law, right next to the rabbi, Rabbi Shlomi. And he was thinking, should I say anything? And he walked over to him and he says, Rabbi Shlomi, I got to tell you something. I don't know if the deceased will forgive me or you will forgive me, but I need to say something. You know the $3,600 that you got every Pesach? He looks at me and goes, How do you know about that? How do you know? He says, I only know because I work for the organization. It was your brother-in-law that gave you that money every year. That man sitting in that box, he's the one that gave it to you. You should just know that. And Shlomi started crying. He goes, I knew it. I knew it. I approached him once. He denied it. I can't believe it. It was always him. Oh, what an amazing guy. And he broke down. He started crying. He said, what am I going to do now in the future? He took care of me. He started crying. And that was it. They cried together. The next day, one of his friends came over to him. He said to Ari, he says, I saw you tell that guy something yesterday. What did you tell him? After I saw you tell him something, he broke down crying. He's like, I told him that it was his brother-in-law that took care of him all these years and paid him for Pesach. Gave him a gift. He said, oh my gosh, how much did he give him? He said, $3,600. He says, I want the mitzvah. Take out a check with, here's $3,600. Do it through the organization. Please send it to him. Don't tell him it's from me. I want to get the mitzvah this coming Pesach. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Okay. He says a week later, the brother of the guy calls me. And he says, I have a feeling that my brother Harry always gave money to his brother-in-law. I have a feeling he did that. Is that true? He says, you know what? It happens to be true. He said, how much did he give? He said he gave $3,600 every year. He says, I want to take his place. And I want to send that rabbi $3,600. My friend said, it's okay. Someone beat you to it already. Someone already donated the $3,600. He's good. He goes, I don't care. I also want the mitzvah. Another $3,600. $7,200. Let him have a good Pesach. He's like, okay. No problem.
That's enough for even after the...
Yeah, okay. The guy's at Tzaddik, why not? So, $7,200.
That's the top.
So he's telling me this Sunday night. He says, I'm only telling you this now. He says, because this morning, Harry's wife called me up. And she says, I know what my husband has been doing. He does all this charity in secret. He says, I know what he was doing all these years, and I want to give money to the brother-in-law.
Well, 10,000.
He's like, one second. Hold on one second. I'll call you back. He calls his rabbi. He says, Rabbi. He says, I already got $7,200. Now the wife of the deceased wants to give money too. I mean, should I tell her that we already have enough? He says she's a widow. Whatever she wants, don't say a word. Whatever she wants to give Don't say a word. Make her happy. If she wants to give, just take the money. So he calls her back, goes, yeah, what would you like to give? He goes, what did my husband give? He said, your husband gave $3,600 every year. He said, okay, I'm giving $5,000. And she wrote out a $5,000 check. And now they're sending this rabbi $12,000. What are we up to?
10,000.
What are we up to so far?
$10,000.
$12,200. Right. So, and he says, can you imagine? He looks at me, he says, here's this guy. He's sitting in the airport and he's crying. How am I going to make my money? My brother-in-law died. Where am I going to get my $3,600? Not only is he getting $3,600, he's getting $12,000. Because ultimately, who's in charge of your money? It is Hashem. Who is paying you? It's Hashem. Now, someone might want to step up for the mitzvah and be the shliach. Go right ahead. But ultimately, you have to realize it's Hashem. Hashem is in charge. Hashem is paying your bills. So when it comes to Shabbos, you shut your email down, you shut your business down, you don't have to worry. Because you know why? Hashem is telling you, I got you. I want to spend time with you. So therefore, I'm paying your bills. And now you spend time with me. And you're going to sleep for 24 hours? God says, I want to spend time with you. I'm taking care of you. You don't have to worry about it. Shabbos is supposed to instill the emunah that Hashem runs the world and runs your finances. And therefore, just like this person was taken care of, even after the person passed away, you will always be taken care of. Especially if you keep Shabbos, you'll have blessing in your life. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for listening.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org